Back to throw now on first down. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Keenan Allen, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down.
The way he's been slinging it in the first half, you expect everything he throws to go for a touchdown, but I guess he's going to have to wait to try and pick up that third, isn't he?
Yeah, I thought he had him for a second, but you're right, not to be. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And this is caught. He's got it. Touchdown, L.A. Julio Jones. Already his second touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Chargers find a way to stretch their lead. Now the try here for the extra point. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 21-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. Shifts by him. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. And now out comes Minnesota. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Cousins. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And picked up by the Chargers.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, it's going to be hot routes if they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback. They've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
The defense gets him the ball via the turnover. Now can this offense cash in? 1st and goal. 1st and goal, Melvin Gordon. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage. Back to the 4-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal.
12.
Now it's the backup, Rivers. And not only did he drop it, he dropped it in the end zone.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
He'll drop to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So not sure how they feel about that. They had golden field position to start the drive after the fumble recovery, but they went backward and then got 3.
Well, let's go from gold to silver, because the silver lining is they got the 3, right? You were talking about the golden field position. They didn't take advantage of it. That has to feel like a letdown.
You always stand ready to pounce. Always. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive? A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards.
Alert! 3 down. Mike 5'9", Mike 5'9".
Cousins now on second down. Being chased out left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Melvin Ingram in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. Working out of the gun, Cousins. He'll find Thielen working the middle. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Well, as this game continues to evolve in the NFL, well, you know how much coaches love run after catch, but you know what they love even more? Completions.
Yeah, just holding on to the ball.
Catch it, cover it, tuck it away. Whatever you get after that is almost gravy. That's how a lot of these receivers are being taught now.
46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. Now Benjamin. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. And the Chargers coming out on the field now. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more.
Get him, boy.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Check me out. We got 3 down, but we got to stand up over there.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build on that stop. Now on 3rd down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and give him some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. And out now come the Vikings. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. Joey Bosa in there to get him for what will be a loss of 13 yards. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
Where's the hunt? Hey, we got 3. Where's the hunt? Where's the hunt?
Now we've got movement up front, and I think this is going to be on Minnesota. Not a great start to this drive. You had the sack, now the false start.
I mean, it doesn't take much to either read lips or just imagine what the head coach is saying right now. Get your head in the game, guys. Let's go.
The hunt! 180! 2. Check. Black. Wide. Hey, steamer.
Here's Cousins. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Casey Hayward. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. 1:58 to go in this first half of play. More from Minneapolis after this. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And this one is incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Hunter Henry. And that'll bring up second down. They're going for a receiver there. Already has one touchdown to this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored one, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
And he's going to get this one down inside the 15. 9 yards on the pickup there as they'll be left with 3rd and 1. The Chargers on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation.
Three down. Let's go. White, 90. White, 90. Tighten up. Flex round. Ohio. Hey, that QB's trapped.
They'll set up a throw. And that is incomplete.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground, and now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
And his kick is good. And the lead increases even further. It's 27-0 now. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
And now out comes Minnesota. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10.
180.
Try to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
This defense is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. They came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Throwing again, Cousins on 2nd and 10. And Cook has it, left side. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll be 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
On 3rd down, Cousins. And Jones has it over the middle. And he's got the first, but we also have a flag on the field. And they're already walking backwards. Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not at all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long? Cousins. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And this is recovered by the Chargers. He already had the 1 fumble loss, so now 2 fumbles lost here in this first half.
Not setting the pace the way that you want it done. I mean, here in the first half, already twice the ball's come out and hit the turf. Got to find a way to take care of it. Otherwise, they may have to start thinking about maybe someone different at that position.
A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Now a handoff. This is Gordon. And he's in for a Charger touchdown. Melvin Gordon, a 6-yard touchdown run. And this Charger offense is running away with this one.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. The point after is good, and the route is on here in this first half. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you've got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10.
Rhino!
They just do get the play off. Now Cousins steps away to his left. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked up by the linebacker, Jatavis Brown. That late in the clock, second quarter, why not just run it a time or two and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may have forced them into saying, let's try and get some more points.
Looking deep for Julio. And that will be incomplete with the clock showing 18 seconds now to go.
But one thing's for sure, when you've got a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you're going to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. Throwing, Hundley. And incomplete here, so a little razzle-dazzle on that one, but they couldn't hook up, and it's 3rd down. The Pro Bowl wideout Julio Jones is intended receiver, and it's 3rd down. Now Hundley. Buying time to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And he's got this down to the 35. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. Oh, he can't hang on. That was a dream chance for any D lineman to possibly get a pick, but instead it falls down incomplete. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. And they're going to fake it. He wants to throw it here. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith, and he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line. All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the 3rd. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. Out comes the Chargers as they'll go on offense now to start this 3rd quarter. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Caught by Jones. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 1st down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the 1st.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 47. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
As he's got this down inside the 40 to the 39. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Tight ends Ringo. Tight ends on the Ringo. Tight ends on the Ringo.
They run it again with Cook, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
Now Cousins. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked.
Well, that field goal block pretty much sums up the day for them, doesn't it?
Boy, it really does. What's the word we often use? Symptomatic. It's just been a sign of how this one's gone.
Give a lot of credit to the guys who got in and blocked the kick. They've had the advantage all game, and they continue to press it.
So now a chance for points in the opposite direction after the blocked field goal.
Tight end to the left. Tight end left. Ohio. Ohio. Odd. Check 24. Flex Brown. Flex Brown. Check Mike 40. Check Mike 40.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Everson Griffin in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10. So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's third. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
And absolutely zero surprise that that one was incomplete, huh? I mean, truthfully, how many OCs have we seen with 3rd and 20 on their play sheet and go, oh, I've got the exact play to dial up?
Now, that's just a head scratching down when you're facing a 3rd and 20. Tried to complete it, couldn't get it done. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
They'll come up now on a second and long after the hold.
Three down. Hey, check. Three down.
Yellow. From the gun, here's Cousins. Forced out to his left. He gets it forward for 4, maybe 5, but the flags fly. And this one could be coming back. And they will elect to decline the penalty.
Everything turned out the way they wanted it to. No sense in even having to take that one, hence the decline.
And this third down looking very tough after the holding penalty. Third and long.
Stay on the slot. Check 82.
Wide.
Cousins. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. But you just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Now the Chargers offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. They were forced to punt last time. Now I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
Touchdown, L.A.! Melvin Gordon, already his second touchdown here in this opening weekend. And this Chargers offense continues to pour it on. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Now the Vikings now heading onto the field. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working.
Mike is 59. Mike to 59. Hey, defense, let's go. Pick it up, D.
Again, it's Cook. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
What do you think, Brandon? I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Cousins from the gun on third. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. And they get 10 yards there and convert on third.
Okay, Betty, I see you.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Single receiver. Hey, you're on an island over there. Single receiver. Key 8.
Boy, and now they can't even get a play off. He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run and just lost track, and it cost him.
Cook following the penalty, and he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Right. He's tight right here. He's tight on the right. Tight on the right. Pacer.
On second down, Cook. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long.
Single, slide.
On play action, Cousins. He lost a big chunk, 6 yards there, and it leads to fourth down.
That's what I'm talking about. Nice hit, boy.
The Vikings send out their punter as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And they're going to fake it from deep in their own territory. And he's going to let it go deep. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They fake the punt. It doesn't work out. The Chargers offense gets set. They head back onto the field. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good, but maybe, you've taught me this before, maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the offense that they know how rare it is to get a shutout. So take care of them, protect them, take care of the ball. Move it downfield. Run the clock down. You don't want your defense to have to go on the field again the rest of the game. Reward them.
And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. 18 yards there, and it'll be a first and goal.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
They get it to him running left. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Hey, we got 3. Let's go.
He's going to get it running right. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play there, and they're going to need to come up with something better here on third and goal. The Chargers on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. They're looking at a third and goal here. Here's Rivers. And this is going to be incomplete.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, fourth quarter, maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
That'll be taken in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. They start the drive with Cook. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. A gain of 3, second down. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back. Those are the ones you focus on and want to take away, and they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Working out of the gun, Cousins. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Melvin Ingram in there with pressure yet again, and that's the 7th time they've dropped him here this afternoon. The Vikings send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Returning, it's Benjamin. A good return there, 17 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Chargers in good field position to start out, 1st and 10. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a first down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46.
Flex round! 49, check 49, check 49!
That one looks like he'll throw here. He's going to wind up and air it out. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Going deep for Benjamin. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Tight ends on the Ringo. Tight ends on the Ringo. We got 3. We got 3, fellas. We got 3.
A give. This is Cook. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Oh, partner, that play brought back memories. Watching them string it out, letting the runner get all the way to the sideline area, but not letting him get out of bounds. They formed that picket fence and didn't allow him through.
Not only that, got him for a loss as well here. And one of the reasons they lead in the 4th quarter, plays like that.
Yeah, it took a little more time off the clock, making him do it that way, didn't it?
3rd down, Dalvin Cook. Cook stripped, the ball's out. And this is recovered by the Chargers.
Well, partner, I think it's safe to say they can mark this down as extremely frustrating. Here we are in the 4th quarter, and that last play, that turnover, I think it epitomizes what happened to them all day on offense.
So symbolic, and that's why they're still being shut out.
Flex round!
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Henry's got it out on the left side. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
4 down.
Now back to throw. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. Oh, very close to a turnover there in the end zone. And partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call together, so special every year, week one. You had the flyover, the big American flag out there before the game, all the hoopla, just having football back, so special.
It is an opening day, opening game. There's just nothing like it because you really build to a crescendo. But the best part for us is that crescendo lasts for a while. Opening game here, an entire season. We get into the playoffs, to the Super Bowl. I was really excited. I could barely sleep last night. I can't imagine being a player.
So for our visitors, you can't ask for a better start as they pitch a shutout here in the opener. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Mile High to take on the Broncos. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they'll be off to Oakland next week for a date with the Raiders. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.